Hello. It wasn't going to be the day that I did my last readathon, but as the holiday season goes, my calendar has quickly filled up, and this is kind of the only day that I have left to really do full 24 hours. Not the only day, but far enough into the month that I'm not rushing it, but not so far that I'm gonna run out of time to hit my goal. So I'm doing a readathon today. I'm doing it a little differently than I have done in the past. If you've seen my other readathon videos, you know that I try to start at midnight and go to the following midnight, or I usually start in the evening, read as long as I can, go to sleep for a few hours, and then continue to read up until that time in the evening that I had started at the day before. Today I'm going to try starting mid-afternoon, which I've never done before, but I saw another bookstagrammer, booktuber, a book social media person start in the afternoon for their readathon, and I thought that's such a good idea because I always have so much more energy during the day, so I'm going to go ahead and try it out. So it's almost 2 o'clock right now, it's 1:58, so I will probably get started around 2:15, 2:30-ish, and as always, I'm going to bring you along with me as I document. Again, I wasn't really planning on doing this today. In addition to the calendar filling up, I also didn't want to film a new video before I had finished editing my previous video that I just did, but I am in the trenches with my NaNoWriMo video right now. It was supposed to be done last night. I had literally 4 or 5 clips left to include, and my program completely crashed, and my husband and I spent like an hour trying to fix it, and it's just been a mess, and here we are. So we're just gonna do it anyway. Oh well. But today I am going to be doing my first reread of the year. So my goal this year with the 100 books was to try to read 100 new books as much as I could, because I am somebody who likes to reread things pretty often, but because I felt so behind on what has been popular in my favorite genres over the last few years, because I've been so busy these past few years, I wanted to spend the year catching up on new reads, things that I hadn't gotten to yet. But I feel like this is a reread that I am long overdue for. So today I am going to be rereading for the first time in I think 10 years probably, The Chronicles of Narnia, which I'm so excited about. I will say I have read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe and The Horse and His Boy within the last 5 years or so. Or I read them for a couple different classes in college, so I have a more recent reread of those two under my belt, but the whole series I have not read since I really don't remember when. I was either late middle school or early high school the last time I read the entire series, so I've only read through the full series once, but I have read, like I said, The Horse and His Boy and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe at least twice, if not 3 times for each of them. I know those two I have read multiple times, just not sure what that multiple is. But anyway, I'm really excited to reread this because I have been wanting to for years now, and I just keep not getting around to it. And I'm doing things a little differently. I am reading it in the, I think it counts as the chronological order, question mark. I saw a C.S. Lewis scholar comment online a few years ago about the correct order to read them in, so I am going books 2, 4, 5, 6, 3, 1, 7. So reading them a little bit out of order, technically, but curious to see how it reads going in a different numerical order this time than I have done in the past. So yeah, I'm excited. I do have other things I still have to do today. At some point, I will have to take care of the puppy. He's been a lot more mellow as he gets older. He is 9 months old today. He is a growing boy. He's getting more mature. He's a very big boy. Forgive my prattling about my furry son. I love him. But even though he's maturing and mellowing quite a bit and he's a lot easier to manage now, he does still require a good deal of attention, and he will need a long play session at some point today and more attention later. So we just went on a nice long walk, so hopefully he's a little more relaxed for the beginning here, but we'll see. Additionally, I have laundry to fold, I have Christmas cards I need to stuff into envelopes, I have presents I probably need to wrap. So for those tasks and for any time that I just need to give my eyes a rest and take a little break, I am going to switch over to the audiobook and just go back and forth. As usual, if I can complete the whole series, that would be incredible. I don't think it's going to happen. The more that I've done these this year, the more that I've realized my reading speed has slowed quite a bit as I've gotten older, whether that's my attention span changing or my energy levels being more difficult to manage as I get closer to 30 than 20. I don't know, but I do read a little bit slower than I used to. Big sad. All this to say, it would be really cool if I could get through all 7, but I am going to guess I'll probably get through 4 or 5 or so. That would be ideal, but we'll find out. So, gonna go ahead and stop prattling on and go get set up with my cozy little fireplace by my Christmas tree, grab my iced coffee that I haven't finished from earlier, make sure the puppy's doing okay, and gonna go ahead and get started right off with The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. Here we go. We are 2 books down, 5 books to go. It is almost 9 p.m., right? Yes, it's 8:59. I, as expected, am slowing down considerably. I did have to take a larger break kind of around dinner time to finish making dinner, sit down and eat, get Puppy ready to go look at Christmas lights and whatnot as I listened to my audiobook, which was fun. So a bit of a longer break in the middle there. That's fine. But I am slowing down, getting sleepy. So I think what I would like to do is I'm quickly going to go shower to wake up a little bit, and then I'm going to switch over to the audiobook for Voyage of the Dawn Treader, which is next, and wrap some presents maybe for an hour or two and see how far I get. So yeah, we'll see. Let's keep going.
The Voyage of the Dawn Treader by C.S. Lewis. Read by Derek Jacobi. And then, several things happened at the same time. Eustace rushed towards the picture. Edmund, who knew something about magic, sprang after him, warning him to look out and not to be a fool.
It is 11:40, and because I'm an old woman now, I am gonna go to bed. I'm about halfway through Voyage of the Dawn Treader, which is my third read of the day. I am 113 pages in, about to start chapter 8. Did mostly listening on this one so far. I think I read about 2 or 3 just sitting here on my own. But yeah, definitely slowing down. In other readathons where I've done this kind of style where I do sleep halfway through and kind of divide it into 2 halves of a day, usually I try to read until I physically can't anymore and I'm no longer comprehending. But I'm gonna try to get ahead of the game this time and go to sleep while I still have some coherence left. Not a ton of energy, but some coherence, so that I hopefully will feel a little more rested in the morning, is my theory, if I get a little more sleep and I don't push it all the way to the end. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish getting ready for bed, go to sleep, and try to be up as bright and early as I can. So yes, that's it for now. See you in the morning. Good morning. So it's about 6:30 now. I've been up since about 5:30 listening to the audiobook, gotten a couple chapters done. I have about 30 more minutes until it's time to get the puppy out of his crate, so I'm going to go ahead and try to read as much as I can in my physical copy until then. But yeah, good morning. Let's keep going. Let's see how far we can get. Okay, switching back to audiobook for a bit while I take Mr. Man over here, there he is, to go play. He gets like this in the mornings and in the evenings where he needs 2 good long sessions of just running around and chasing his ball to be relaxed throughout the day. So gonna take him to go run around at my in-laws' house. They have this lovely huge patch of grass that he likes to sprint in, so we're gonna go do that. Gonna keep listening to the audiobook. At this point in the day, there is about 6 hours left, so we'll see how far I get, but ideally I would love to get up through at least Horse and His Boy. I've just started the Silver Chair, so I've got that and then Horse and His Boy, and then obviously if I can continue on to Magician's Nephew, which comes after that, that would be awesome, but we'll see how the day goes. So time to go play with Puppy and keep on reading. Okay, checking in for a second. I am taking a small-ish break. I'm still probably going to listen to the audiobook, but to play with this little guy. Hey, there you are. Who's been so patient and so calm this morning while I finish the other book. I'm gonna do that for a few minutes, and then I'm planning to finish off my day at a coffee shop, so we'll leave to go do that in a little bit here. I'm entering probably my last book of the day. Not even probably, I'm entering my last book of the day. If it takes me a little longer than the full 24 hours to finish it, I might go ahead and try to push past and just get all the way through the book if I have the time to do it. I do have a couple of things I need to take care of today and work in the morning tomorrow, so other things to prep for that. So I can't spend the whole day doing it, but I know He's ready to go. Anyway, yeah, if I'm close enough to the end of the book by 2:30 and I'm not done yet, I might just push through and finish it and then call it a day. Successful day, about 5 books read, which is crazy. Also, I'm realizing I was wrong. This isn't the chronological order, it's the publication order. So I've only read it in chronological order, not publication order. So we're doing that this time. But yeah, anyway, just a brief break to say hello. We're almost done. About 3 hours left. Small break for audiobook and puppy, who is absolutely ready to go. And that'll be that. So I just got home. I decided to do a brief little wrap up here just for a second before I do the actual wrap up, but I finished my last read-a-thon, which is so exciting. I really liked doing it this way, this time, starting afternoon, reading until late, or late for me at least, and then waking up early and continuing throughout the day. My energy was just so much better. I think this is to date the most books I have been able to tackle in a read-a-thon, which is so exciting. So very pleased with that. And I finished with almost 20 minutes to spare. That's pretty cool. And that change of scenery at the end helped so much because I was so falling asleep just sitting in my house the entire time. So going to the coffee shop for lunch, having some sunshine, sitting by a window, enjoying my little drink and my lunch was exactly what I needed because I was actually able to focus. And I think I read the straight 2 hours that I was there. I just logged it in Goodreads and I'm like finally not behind according to Goodreads. And I think I haven't been in that position since like May this year. I've been behind by like 4 or 5 books. I think it even got up to like behind by 7 books at one point, which was crazy, but I'm caught up. Probably won't last very long, but now I don't have to stress so much about trying to catch up to the whole 100 books at the end of the year, I think, hopefully, because I think I only have 4 or 5 left, so it's very exciting. But a full wrap up in just a little bit here. Going to calculate the number of pages I actually read, kind of gather my thoughts about the story itself and what I think, but because I'm about to walk into my house and Puppy's been in his crate for almost 3 hours now, I know it's going to be a minute before I can actually sit and film. I'll have to take care of him because he'll be just absolutely jazzed that I'm home. So gotta take care of him first. But yeah, anyway, final wrap up in just a second here. We did it! Last read-a-thon of the year. Forgive the weird-ish lighting. One of my lights is refusing to work because technology is not my friend this week. But so it goes. It's been almost 2 hours now since I finished and Puppy has played and I've had a little bit of time to gather some thoughts and time to calculate how much I read. So for this read-a-thon, I didn't get to all of these, but I got to a lot of them. So let's tally up, shall we? In about 24 hours, I was able to read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, and Prince Caspian, and The Voyage of the Dawn Treader, and The Silver Chair, and The Horse and His Boy. All these guys, which is very exciting. So in total, and let me check that number just to be safe because my brain's tired enough, I will forget it. That comes out to 1,127 pages, which I'm going to say is a very successful readathon. Again, like I said, I'm also technically caught up according to Goodreads, which is such a relief. I know it won't last. It never does, but it's nice when I see that little message of you're on track. It's great. So overall thoughts. Again, as far as the readathon goes, I really liked starting in the afternoon, reading as late as I could, getting some sleep, and then working through to the next afternoon. I had so much more energy and felt so much more accomplished throughout the day. I think, and again, I'd have to fact check this, but I'm pretty sure this is the most books I've actually tackled in a readathon, or not the largest number of pages that I've read, but the most books that I have tackled, which is very cool. So I think in the future, whenever I do another readathon, which is going to be a while because I'm tired, I might try that method again. Maybe I'll try to stay up a little later, do a little less sleep, I don't know. I was also considering the fact that I have other things I still need to do today, and I work tomorrow morning, so I wanted to make sure I was not completely skipping out on all my sleep, because as much as I may try to get to bed on time tonight, I probably won't be able to get a full 8 hours just because I have to wake up so early and I don't want to have to work a full day of work without having slept at least a little bit the night before as well. So I'm considering a whole bunch of other responsibilities and things that I have going on. But in the future, if I'm able to actually carve out a larger chunk of time for a read-a-thon, yeah, I think I would try to do this afternoon to afternoon setup again and just sleep a little bit less in the evening if at all possible. But, you know, again, like I said at the beginning of the video, the closer I get to 30 and the more I leave the age of 20 behind, the harder it is for me to have the energy to stay up late. So I'd say, considering my old age and just the amount of things I've had going on this week and the energy levels I had coming into it, pretty successful read-a-thon. This also marks it as my last read-a-thon of the year. At the beginning of the year, I set out to do a quarterly read-a-thon, so about every 3 months. Didn't strictly stick to that, but I knew I wanted to do 4 total, and this was the 4th, so very pleased that even if I don't manage to meet all my other goals that I set this year, at least I got that one, which is pretty cool. And since I was able to do this read-a-thon, I am only 6 books away from hitting 100 books, and I've already got a few lined up that I know are going to be short, quick reads, so I think I should hopefully be able to meet that 100 book goal. So just speaking of the books themselves, I had so much fun revisiting these. Again, it's been a long time since I've read them. I know I said at the beginning of the video that it had been at least 10 years since I had read all of them, and then I had said probably about 5 years since I had read The Horse and His Boy and The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. But looking back on it, it probably is more like 6 or 7 years since I read those two, or I read them about halfway through my college career, and I graduated from my undergrad program 5 years ago. So that's a number I forget. I always feel like it's closer in time than it really is. More years have passed than I realize a lot of times because that feels so recent to me, but so it goes. I really enjoyed it this time around, and something I'm impressed by with these books is that they are really short. The longest book was about 248 pages, I think was the longest one. That was The Voyage of the Dawn Treader. That one was the thickest out of all of them. And it wasn't even 250 pages, right? They're pretty small. And there's just so much story packed into these books, and I think there is a lot to be said for the way that Lewis gives these grand sweeping commentaries of things that happen, and a lot of it's really silly and a lot of it's just really fun and fantastical and clearly for children, but at the same time there's also so much depth and richness to it that he gives in his imagery and his descriptive language. And being a Christian and a Christian reader, I recognize those little hints that he's leaving that hint towards a more theologically deep conversation that could be had about these books. Some of them are pretty on the nose and obvious, but there are other comments that if you are reading from an outside perspective, not necessarily religious perspective, it seems like normal world building, but as a Christian reader, you understand what he's hinting at and what he's alluding to. And I just appreciate the subtlety of that. Again, it's probably obvious for a lot of people, but there are some things that are a little less obvious, and I appreciate that about his writing, that it doesn't always feel heavy-handed, and it does lend to the fantastic and whimsical atmosphere that he is setting, and it works really well. I had so much fun revisiting these, and I'm really excited to continue along with the series. I didn't get to The Magician's Nephew or The Last Battle, so those two will be up very next on my reading list. I will probably start The Magician's Nephew sometime this evening, whether it's audiobook format or physical format. Those are the next 2 books that I will tackle. Again, because they're so short and because I'd like to just go ahead and finish the series up anyway, even though I didn't get to finish it today. I don't have a lot to say this time. I don't really have ratings or deeper thoughts, just I had fun. This was a nice read-a-thon where I knew that every book that I picked up this read-a-thon was going to be an easier read, a shorter read, that it wasn't going to take me super long to get through it, that there was some sense of familiarity and kind of a sense of cozy nostalgia that I had while reading them, but also knowing that I was getting a good story, that there was a lot of richness to what I was reading. So that was very pleasant and lovely as well. Yeah, I think that's everything. It's crazy. 4 read-a-thons. We did it. Thank you so much, as always, for tuning in. The next thing you can expect from me, well, by the time I posted this, the NaNoWriMo video better be posted before this, but that is technically what's coming up next on my end. But beyond that, I will have some wrap-ups coming up. I plan to do, like I said a few videos ago, I will be doing a video either at the very end of the year or at the very beginning of next year where I go over all the books that I didn't get to review on Goodreads or do in a video review and kind of just lump them all together into one long rambly video where I go through and give all my thoughts and my ratings. So that'll be probably between 20 and 30 books total that I have to go over. So that will be coming. It'll take a little longer for sure to put together, and I have to wait until obviously I've finished all of my books for this year. So that will come at some point in the next few weeks or so. And I will also probably do a writing wrap up overall for the year. I may do a year end reflection. A lot of wrapping up the year stuff to look forward to. Don't necessarily have the specifics yet, but you can look forward to that coming up next. So yeah, I think that's everything. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. I genuinely cannot express how lovely it has been knowing that you are along on this journey with me, getting all of your support and hearing just all your kind and lovely words about what I'm doing. I feel silly sometimes recording myself just reading or going about my day, but it's nice knowing in some way that that is entertaining for you, or that what I'm doing has been encouraging or has challenged you to get into your own reading goals or writing goals, or has been just fun to be along for the ride. For whatever your reason is for sticking around, I'm glad that you're here and I appreciate all of you cheering me on throughout this year. Anyway, I digress. I appreciate you, bottom line. Until the next time, happy reading, happy writing, and I will chat with you all soon.